Hello everyone, welcome back to Decidedly Vanilla. Pixlriffs here, and today I'm going to showcase a work in progress, which is not the usual state of affairs. It's not normally what I do, but this is taking a while, and I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff. I wanted to at least release a video this week, so I've been working so hard on this build, and it's not quite finished, but as I've mentioned before, this is going to be a government building for the Democratic Republic of Mushroom. More on that shortly, but I wanted to show you a couple of the details I've done around the outside because I am super happy with how this is coming out. I'm working in all these little details as I go, and I am enjoying myself immensely. So here we go. For a start, mixing in cobblestone with stone brick. At first I was like, what? I don't know how that's supposed to work. It just does, like as an accent thing, and especially if you keep it evenly spaced around the thing so there's like a pattern, really works quite well. So I'm pretty pleased with how that's turned out, and you'll see I've used some of it along the kind of corridor as well. I've kept the ladder up to the roof because I was working on the roof a lot. This strap here, with the cobblestone accent again, this strap here has pretty much turned out the way I wanted it to. At least on the inside, you don't get any kind of interruptions in the wood paneling. And on the outside, I like the fact that it's kind of half stone and keeps some of the wood in there as well. I think that looks a lot better. Added some more cobblestone accents around here and around here. I didn't really highlight this before when I showed you guys this building, but yeah, this is a stained glass window that's meant to look like a mushroom. I thought that was all right. It turned out okay. This is the water garden, which is basically a little garden area on the left-hand side of the building, and I have a water garden on one side and a flower garden on the other side, which I'll get to in a minute. But I've done the same thing here as I've done with the paths around the rest of the, well, the rest of the Democratic Republic. It's kind of just in front of the little house I used to live in. I didn't really expand it beyond that, but I will if I have time. So yeah, this is a mixture of coarse dirt and mycelium and grass blocks. Made it a little bit overgrown because this area is kind of a little bit more wild. It's got lily pads and stuff. Standard fountain with two kind of cobblestone walls just supporting that water source block. There's a few flowers around, a little seat where you can sit and relax. Ah, lovely. This is... I decided to put some sugarcane in, and this was a trick I discovered because if you put sugarcane down, it's going to grow to 3 high normally, right? And I didn't want it obstructing the view of this because I was quite pleased with the way this kind of mushroom on the outside had turned out. So if you creep a little bit closer, you'll notice there's string over the top of it. And this is probably quite an old trick. Like, I'm sure people must have discovered this a long time before I did. But if you put string over the top of sugarcane, it doesn't grow. So yeah, I was able to limit the height of that, and I just kind of freestyled that, and it worked super well. I've made this tree myself. This is my first go at making a custom tree, and I thought it turned out pretty good. I've left some birch leaves around the outside because I think they look a little bit like they're sort of decaying, like they're not quite getting as much nutrients because they're further away from the trunk, so they're the ones that are drooping down. I've got these down here like they've sort of fallen off the tree. And the vines drooping down make this whole pond area look kind of cool as well. Been working a little bit on exterior details, so I've got a lot of these kind of supporting struts, I guess you'd call them, around the place, so that's kind of a neat little feature. You'll see a couple of those inside as well, because I've included those in the interior of the building. Yeah, not a lot much else to say here. This area down here is leading down to the sort of restroom area that I mentioned in the previous video, so I'll show you that when we get to the interior. Around the other side, this area is a little bit more tidied up than the other one. It's got these lights which do come on. They've got inverted daylight sensors, so they come on when it's when the sun kind of gets over that way. Yeah, this I wanted to be a little bit neater. I didn't really install any kind of flower beds, so the flowers are just kind of around and not in any particular pattern. I've hidden like I guess, are they lilacs? I always confuse them with peonies. One of those in the corner, just so it doesn't look like it's standing out there on his own. And again, a little area you can sit down. Couple of custom trees here. There's not a great deal of difference to these from the one around the other side, but I think just having them with a little bit of foliage drooping over the hedge there looked kind of cool. So yeah, again, super happy with how those have turned out. There's a couple of bits where the root structure, maybe not for that one actually, I didn't do it so much there, it's around the back, but the root structure kind of gets into the ground, and there's one block there that's just kind of poking through the hedge, which I thought was quite a neat little detail. Let's move on to the interior. Now this I absolutely breezed through in the last one. I occasionally watch my videos back and go, slow down. So hopefully I'll be able to draw your attention to some details that I missed out on. Yeah, this whole area, I kind of like the way the pattern on the walls turned out. Was really pleased with that. A lot of stairs and slabs went into making this look how it does, and it's kind of symmetrical on that side as well. There's lighting concealed under those, which I think I mentioned last time, but basically I just wanted to make this whole area a little bit well lit up, and there are a couple of areas which don't quite meet the block light requirements for mobs not to spawn, so you'll see a couple of torches here and there, and I might work on that. These water source blocks, I went through a couple of different permutations of this, but I think it looks really good with them coming out from behind these. Again, probably wouldn't look so great with fancy leaf textures on. I've occasionally turned fancy leaf textures on and gone, oh, that doesn't look good at all. But fast leaf texture works great for me, and I think this whole water feature looks really neat. This down here, this is something that I think I saw on Detailcraft, the subreddit, a while ago. This is basically intended to look like somebody's thrown coins in the fountain, like by putting a gold ore block and an iron ore block in there. There's one gold ore block on the other side here, and you can't do it too much. You can't absolutely spam them in there because it looks too much like a pattern. So having one or two ore blocks just scattered around breaks it up enough so you don't really notice that it's the same ore block, and you can't rotate them so the texture is facing a different way. So yeah, I haven't really done a great deal with the toilets down here, but so far there's just like a sink area. I've had difficulty getting it down to a level where it doesn't look like you're descending into the bowels of the earth to do other things with bowels, but this area here kind of conflicts with the garden up there, so if I make any changes to the roof, the ceiling up here, it's going to cause problems for the little water garden over there. So, but the sound of running water is always in here, which is something that occasionally helps if you're in the bathroom. Now, this side I've not done anything with at all, so let's ignore that one for now. Wanted to point out that these are actually grown into the structure of the building. I put these in here first before I did anything else. Again, using acacia wood up there for the gills, which I think that's really weird when you poke that and you don't have the heads-up display on. I am hitting that with my arm. Yeah, the acacia wood for the gills I think still looks really cool. Added in a couple of leaves in the background which actually extend out into the outside. Now, you've probably noticed these guys already as I've been walking through, but let's say hello. These are the senators of the Democratic Republic of Mushroom. Yeah, I've brought in a bunch of mushroom cows, and they are going to be the senators. This is the Senate building. Basically, this is the seat of power of the Democratic Republic of Mushroom. It is the Senate, and every republic should have a Senate. I'm not going to build a House of Representatives as well, because, yeah, we all know Congresses don't work super well all of the time. But I don't know if you'll see it with the... Okay, I'm going to have to turn the yeah, there you go. I've name tagged them all. This is Senator Agaric. This is Senator Whitecap. Senator Button and Chestnut are up here. This is Senator Morell. There they are, lovely. So they've all got their name tags, and I'm super happy with this. I think it's really cool. And the best thing is, if you stand here with a bunch of wheat and then just put the wheat in your hand, they all turn and look at you, which is great. It's like, attention, gentlemen. I need to talk to you about important political matters. I'm also really happy with the way the stained glass window at the back has turned out. I was really pleased with that one. It looks a little bit different because I had a slightly bigger space to work with than the ones around here. And I think it looks just a little bit nicer. It's a little bit more filled out with the mushroom cap and has a little more white, a few more of the white spots in there. Armor stands I showed you last time, so won't cover those. On the left and right as you enter are these kind of meeting rooms, which I've kept kind of fairly open plan. I didn't really want to install a door in here or anything, but I really like the way these turned out too. I kind of like the cyan wool carpet for the table covering. I've no idea why, but that's covering up the fact that everything would otherwise be fairly wood textured. Yeah, the chairs are high-backed because they've got birch doors attached to them. Birch doors, I think, are the ones I found just don't have a very visible handle. A lot of the other ones have quite a kind of distinct handle design, so I'm a little bit more inclined to believe that those are the backs of chairs as opposed to just doors stuck on the back of stair blocks. Again, worked the mushroom design into this, which I thought was kind of cool, and the light is dimming, so maybe I will have to go and sneak out and get some sleep, but I think we might be able to press on because I've lit this whole area pretty well. Underneath here, this is an old trick. Pistons over the top of a jack-o'-lantern. The piston's facing down so you don't see the wood face of it. Took a lot of digging to get that to work properly. But that is brilliant because I had no idea pistons were a transparent block. Makes total sense that they are when I think about it. But yeah, having those concealing jack-o'-lanterns meant this whole room could be lit up super easily, which was very nice because they're just all evenly spaced around the outside. I think I meant to put one there as well, but never quite got around to that. But it's okay, it's pretty evenly lit as is, which is fine. I'm just eyeballing all these dark areas and going, oh, I'm gonna have to turn on my heads-up display and fight something. So yeah, these guys are all lit up by the fact that they're in minecarts, which you probably saw on the way round, but jack-o'-lanterns are the only light source block that you can place a minecart rail on, so that proved super handy when I found that out, because then I was able to trap them all in the minecarts by rolling minecarts into them, and then the minecart rail went on top of a jack-o'-lantern block, so that was super cool. I'm just nervous right now. I'm going to go and sleep because otherwise a creeper is going to come along and blow up all of my good work. Oh my word, everything is spawning. Oh, that's not going to work. Okay, fine. What is the button? You may not sleep now. There's a skeleton next to your bed. That's, yeah, pretty good reason not to sleep. Okay, any creepers at all? I've had a problem with stuff spawning in the eaves of this bit. Occasionally skeletons will just turn up along here, but thankfully nothing seems to have turned up today. Let's just quickly grab a sword and do the tour. Make sure nothing is spawned in the interior. My absolute worst nightmare is that something will turn up and blow up all of my name-tagged cows. But it looks like we're fine. It looks like, oh, we've got spiders coming in somewhere. Yeah, the walls around the outside are still completely unfinished. So, excuse me, you are not invited to this Senate briefing. Neither is the Enderman, thank you. But yeah, let's go back into, I think, I really need to get a grip of the F number keys. There we go. This one has a roof on it right now, because I will explain that in a second. I'm not sure if I want to do the same thing the other side or if I want to keep that one fairly open plan, because right now it's fairly symmetrical as far as builds go, and I don't know if I want to keep it that way. I want it to have a little bit of character. So yeah, this is the other briefing room. It's got the same amount of chairs, I think, as the other one had. Same mushroom design on the wall with the little flower pots. Need to add in this little accent thing of the wood plank over there to the other one. I haven't done that over there. This, I wasn't 100% sold on this at first, but I think it adds a little bit of colour. I didn't want everything to be completely kind of grey wash walls with stone brick, and even the cobblestone doesn't add that much variation. So yeah, I added in some really tall bushes and a bunch of sugarcane with a water source block underneath that wall, and it worked out fine. The sugarcane obviously doesn't naturally grow this tall, so I waited for it to grow 3 tall and then added the rest. I added gold pressure plates to the top of these wooden pillars. I just think that's a really nice touch. It just lends, like, I've got gold accents here and there, just like the armor stands and that gold block that's up there, just to add like a slightly more rich feel to it, kind of like I have over in Mount Mushmore with the gold pressure plates and the armor around the walls and everything. And I think that just makes it just a little bit kind of classier or something. I don't know. Same with these square, what are they called? Chiseled stone brick, those. Yeah, I think they look kind of neat and make things look a little bit more opulent and put together. So yeah, you can come out of the meeting room from either side. Over here I have a staircase, which is the most recent thing I've added, so it looks a little bit rough right now, especially around here, and down there isn't really anything, but I was thinking of making that like a storage area or something. I'm not really sure, but there's this bridge that kind of leads over here. There's an archway down there which I need to add a couple more details to, but this is the reading room. This is somewhere I wanted to put in bookshelves somewhere in here, because obviously all these senators are going to be learned and educated lawmakers, even though a lot of the time they just vote moo. And this is somewhere that they can go and relax. There's a standing lamp. Shout out to Tree Root Plays, who is a guy, he's on YouTube, but he's also an avid contributor to Detail Craft, and he has a tutorial where he explains how to make a standing lamp kind of design. His is a little bit different, but it's essentially the same thing as those glass cases, which is forcing a redstone lamp over the top of an armor stand. But the trick is to put a lever switched on before you put the armor stand down, because then when you force the redstone lamp over the top of the armor stand, it'll immediately turn on and it'll just stay that way, which is great because considering that I have a very thin floor in here, considering I didn't want to take up too much of the headroom in the room below, I didn't really have any way to conceal lighting in here, so I thought let's have the lighting just out in the open, but make it a standing lamp. And the gold trousers, I guess they just fit the best. I tried it on with a couple of leather trousers and that kind of thing, and I think the gold, again, as an accent, looks quite good. They are enchanted gold trousers as well, because I just had a bunch of those lying around from the zombie spawner. And I've tried putting boots on the armor stand as well, just to give it more of a base, but it just looks like somebody is hiding in a lamp at that point. Like, it looks like somebody snuck into the embassy, Inspector Clouseau style, and has just pulled a lampshade over their head. So that didn't work out super well. So yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do with this area over here. I might do a symmetrical staircase and another archway leading over here, or I might leave this a little bit more open and do something different with this section. I'm not super sure yet, but I think that is pretty much all I wanted to cover. The podium has these little kind of wing trapdoors, which are kind of neat, but they're not the most special feature of this whole place. I think that you'll find the most special feature is all of these mushroom cows, because they are having a whale of a time conducting the business of government. So yeah, this is it so far. I'm going to hop over to the top of this pyramid and show you a bit more of an aerial view, because I think it looks pretty neat from the top, and I also want to pop into the maps room. The main reason I'm showing you this now, as opposed to going and doing something else and finishing it, is because it is going to take me an age to do the roof. Roofs are something that I found I am not super fond of doing, and it's going to take a lot of work to get this roof, for a start, symmetrical, because the roof has to be symmetrical even if nothing on the inside is, especially with the shape, and the shape of it so far is going to be really difficult to kind of pull off a good roof design. So I'm going to do a lot of trial and error with that, and I have no idea how it's going to turn out. So I wanted to show you this now, just in case everything goes completely head over heels in future and I have to, I don't know, abandon the whole thing entirely. Let's pop into the maps room quickly, just so I can show you how it looks these days. And I'm going to turn on the HUD again. Yay, remember the key for it this time. Good job. Yeah, this is what it looks like now. And just the little, I'm pointing at it on the screen like you can see my hands. Just the little kind of spiral, sort of the arches that branch out in the cap there, and the way the steps and everything look where the mushroom cows are. I just think that looks super neat. Obviously it's going to have to, that's doing the flickering thing like the armor stands did last time. Weird. That's all going to be covered up by roof eventually, but it's really neat just to take a look at it now and see like the insides of the building, like it's an exploded diagram or whatever. And I think the kind of pathways and the little gardens on either side also look quite cool on the map. So that's it. That's all I wanted to show you for today, guys. Sorry that this has been very base-centric recently, but I have just been doing a ton of building and I've been working super hard on this structure. I wanted to make it something very, very special. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Decidedly Vanilla. My name is Pixlriffs. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.